Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Geeks podcast. I am your host, the GigaGamerDad, and with me tonight I have DC the Trash Panda. How are you, Panda?
Pretty dang good. Thanks for allowing the late start today.
Oh, of course. I mean, I am adaptable, as Marines typically are.
That's an understatement.
So how'd jujitsu go? Was that good?
I was very impressed with the child. I'm like in my head that I've been like in Taekwondo and other martial arts and stuff. I'm like, fix your stance, kid. But otherwise, yeah, she caught on to stuff really quick. She broke out of her shell pretty quick. So at the very end, they did their sparring and she got the girl down within the first like 30 seconds. So I was like,
I didn't realize my hair looked this bad. I'm sorry. Like, there's
oh, look at that. Problem solved.
there's a reason why I wear hats.
No.
Losing my hair, I was not a fan of it, and I just haven't shaved it recently because next week we are flying out to Colorado. So I'm shaving it before.
Oh, that's right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, as a PSA, there will not be a podcast episode next week, the week of May 15th. May 15th. Of course, the day that we would have a podcast is when Doom: The Dark Ages comes out.
Oh, good job.
I'm so excited. So excited. But that's something that we're going to talk about is some of the games that are going to be coming out in the next few weeks. I'm pretty excited about it myself.
Oh, man, nose with the biddies.
So.
New Dome looks decent. Decent? I've never played Doom, so I don't know.
Doom is fantastic. And I think you can actually play the Doom 2016 on your current Xbox.
Yeah,
because I think Eternal was the one that came out for next gen.
Yeah, I thought about it. I was trying to look at games the other day. So Greg and I started playing Generation 0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were saying that.
It's okay. I'm nervous because they fired the music composer from the previous two. Huh.
You mean they didn't really fire him. He kind of stepped away because they weren't paying him what the contract was supposed to be. And Mick Gordon was the composer, which is why they haven't released Doom Eternal soundtrack, was because of an ongoing battle with Mick Gordon. Or no, I take that back. Mick Gordon's kind of was in competing against Doom in that way. I don't want to say there was a lawsuit, but there may have been. I can't remember the full details.
The more you know. I learned something new every week.
Was fantastic. It was one of those soundtracks I used to listen to in the car. So.
Oh, Jesus.
Because I'm that guy and cranked it up.
So I'm gonna segue a little bit with the fact that I got to a certain chapter in Silver Flame.
Was it the dinner table?
No. It was the whole, oh my gosh, it was chapter 41 maybe, or 39, somewhere in there.
But that's very descriptive. Thank you.
The whole chapter, was very descriptive, where I listened to the audiobook and I was like, I need to process. So I like put everything down.
Well, I did tell you that it got more descriptive in this book than the other ones, right?
Yeah. This one was like
the most intense.
I had to process, and I thought about it. I was like, how do you listen to the audiobooks in your car?
How do I do it? With a smile on my face and like, oh, I have a story for you. I
Oh, I
think I already
listened to
told
what
you,
I
but
told Greg, and I was just like, "I don't know how this man does this." He's like, "You don't care." I'm like, "Yeah."
I don't care. I don't care. I'm here for the story. It just a segue into the rest of the story, so I have to like power through it, you know. But it's funny that you say that because I have an ACOTAR sticker on the back of my car, and
Oh,
I
yes.
only told you what's going on. So I'm driving to work. I had like class that I had to do at 10 a.m. on Monday and Tuesday.
Gross. Tuesday.
Yeah, and so I go in, I'm driving in, and I'm stuck in traffic, and it's very slow. And I'm looking in the rear view mirror, and there's this girl that's doing this in her rear view mirror, or not in her rear view, in my rear view mirror, taking a picture of the Tamlin, you
More
stupid
than
bitch sticker on the back of my car. And I'm just
Oh,
smiling. I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
geez.
And then she made it point to pull in to the lane next to me, drive up to my car window, roll down her window. She's like, hey, I was like, what? And she's like, awesome sticker. I'm like, thank you.
Oh my god.
Tamlin's such an asshole. I hate him.
I mean, like you said, being a part of a cult that's mainly women, it's great.
Oh yeah. I think it was more of the whole she saw who was driving the car and was like, huh, that's interesting.
This... No, this is not my wife's car.
Yeah, exactly. This is mine. It literally has Star Wars writing on the side. Like, it is mine.
Yeah. Well, goodness gracious. Anywho, I had to get that out because I was like, speaking of music and listening to things, listening to albums in the car. Oh, geez. I was shook. I didn't know how to feel.
I listen
I
to
was
my.
like,
Well, when I'm sitting here playing a video game, I usually have headphones on because I have to like when there's a distraction around me, I have to like focus. But when I'm driving, like that's all I'm listening to, so it's easier to like
yeah,
stick with
the
it.
ADHD kicks in.
Yeah, the tism. But yeah, I'm waiting for. I'm hoping. I bought my wife a Crescent City coloring book, which is another one of Sarah J. Maas's stories. Her Throne of Glass. Oh no, not Crescent City. I wish I could have found a Crescent City. I like Crescent City. My bad. I bought her the Throne of Glass coloring book.
Glass. Gotcha.
And because it was also on sale, I bought myself the ACOTAR coloring book.
Oh, Jesus.
So I can color my boy Cassian.
Oh, Jesus. It's getting interesting though, that's for dang sure. But I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, even Greg was like, are you still reading? I'm like, I'm still processing. It's been like 20 minutes. He's like, oh God.
So you still haven't gotten to the dinner table scene. What chapter are you on? Because you're not even at grab the headboard.
That's what it was.
Oh, it was the grab the headboard?
Yes, it was
Oh,
the
you
grab the
passed the
headboard.
dinner scene. Okay. The grab the headboard.
Okay, the
I
dinner
told
scene
you.
wasn't that great then.
No, it
Like
wasn't
it
memorable.
really like
The
led
grab the headboard scene.
that one. That's what got me. I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I need
that
to
was
go.
one of my favorites.
I was like, and I'm just gonna put this down and doom scroll for a little bit. Yep. That was a good one.
Ah, you missed Greg.
Very good. Shh. I do.
So, Xbox has quite a few games coming out this month. Expedition 33 just came out. It has stellar reviews.
That one's been out for a couple weeks.
Yeah, it came out around the same time as Oblivion. But like I've been reading like a lot of articles on
Yeah.
it, and one article says that it has a better score than all of the Final Fantasy games. It makes me believe that would be a game that you would enjoy.
I've seen a couple people streaming it that are part of like the GDSS fam that, oh my gosh. And that's, I'm trying to remember what they said. I think it was like Final Fantasy meets Elden Ring is kind of is what I've had a lot of people that I know say about it. And oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
Like the
I've
creatures you
been
have to
debating
fight
on
are beautiful.
I've been debating on whether or not trying it myself. I mean, it's on Game Pass, so it
It
wouldn't hurt.
looks so good.
Um,
Yeah,
oh,
with the press is rising though, we'll see if I end up getting it. Like, I guess the new Xbox.
well, oh yeah, we did talk about that. I don't think any of the new stuff has currently been increased. Let's
No, I
see.
should
Doom
hope
to
not.
Dark Ages is still $69.99, so it's not a full 70 yet, or not a full 80.
80.
So it's still $69.99 has been kind of the norm for a while. So coming out this month, we have Bending in the Ink Machine, which I've heard good things about the originals. Everspace 2, the Galactic Edition, comes out on the 12th. Doom to Dark Ages comes out on the 14th early. I think it comes out the
Oh, that
12th
one.
if you get the premium edition, and then it comes out the 14th otherwise. That's on my list of things to play. Roadcraft comes out here on the 20th, which is on my list. Fantasy Life, it comes out on the 21st, also on my list. Deliver at All Costs. I saw a trailer for that, and it looked really interesting. It's kind of like a top-down isometric driving game. It was interesting looking.
Huh.
Blades of Fire, I
Oh,
think I
okay.
mentioned before. It comes out on the 22nd. There's a ton of games coming out this month. I have to like budget because I also have Legos to buy.
Oh my god. So
And
I had actually told my coworker about the second trailer that came out for
Grand Theft Auto.
yes, thank you.
Uh-huh.
My brain wanted to say Fallout. I was like, it's not Fallout, it's Grand Theft Auto. Because she was like, oh, I need to go buy my kids this new game that they've been wanting. And I'm like, nope, you got a whole nother year.
Oh yeah, and she's buying her kids Grand Theft Auto. What a great mom.
15.
In a game where you can
We have
rape
no
and
room
murder
to talk.
hookers.
We all grew up on Grand Theft Auto, and we're
Yeah,
how
but we
old?
know how bad it is. You know what I mean? We
My
know how bad
coworker's
it
my
is.
age.
I
No,
did
she's
read
like
that
right
has
in
like
between.
100 possible endings, so that is interesting to me.
Oh my god. But like, how much gooder can it get? I don't know.
Boy, your English is terrible.
Gooder. Yeah. How much gooder can it get?
I'm not a day one GTA guy. I'm not a big fan of Grand Theft Auto. Like, I never owned
I
it.
played the first two.
Yeah,
Because my
see, Billy
brothers.
was like, "Yeah, we had common sense back in those days. Have you seen these kids today? My 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 son jumped off the sofa today, just like boop, straight off the sofa. He's 1.5. I was like, this kid
Yeah.
has a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah. My daughter did that once. She was like jumping back and forth on the couch, like jumping onto the arms, and then
No, no,
she
no,
like
no, no.
barely missed.
He wasn't trying to aim for anything. He just
Just
jumped.
think.
Just
Well,
jump.
she like completely cleared the arm, and then I just see, scorpion. And I just stood there and just looked at her, and she goes, and then gets back up on the couch. I'm like, solid. As long as you don't react, they're fine. They bounce.
Oh man. Oh, my daughter who's 4 was playing on like the edge of the playpen and then like fell in on top of all the toys. And then she like looked to see where I was before she started crying. And I was just like, you did this. I told you not to do that. Regardless, GTA should not be bought for a 15-year-old. That's it. There's a reason why there's ratings on these games.
We were playing GTA at that age.
Jesus Christ, our parents didn't care about us that much.
No,
I know
we
mine
turned out
didn't.
okay.
This is because of the
yeah.
childhood I didn't have. That's not okay. That's called childhood trauma.
Just buying all the Legos that you couldn't buy.
This
I feel
Lego
like
wall
that's
is my
what our
trauma
generation.
wall.
I feel like that's what our generation is like.
You want
now
to
that
see
I
what I
have
bought the
adult
other day?
money. Oh Jesus! What did you get now?
Childhood trauma.
How many pieces is that?
Almost 3,000. That's not the biggest one I have.
I saw the funniest video that was a Captain America shield that like you drop little like airsoft BBs into, and then it shoots them. And then a guy stitches it. It was like, oh, make sure you don't show your kids. And the guy's like, I ain't buying that for my kids. I'm buying that for me because
Yeah,
I have
exactly.
adult money. So
that
I
was a
shouldn't be shown
$300
this.
set.
So why not?
I got it on Star Wars Day, so I had to.
Okay, fair. That's different.
Yeah.
I would not classify that as impulsive. It was required.
Oh no, I had to plan for that because I only get like a couple bucks for my play money anyway, so I had to like ration it out for a few weeks to make sure I could get that.
Yeah.
But now all these games are coming out, and now I need to ration that and more Legos. So,
what's a man to do?
I only built one in the last 3 months, so I mean, I gotta start.
Quit buying games and start building things.
No, not gonna happen.
No. Anywho, you did say you had a topic for the day.
I do have a topic. Okay, so on Reddit, because I'm everywhere when it comes to gaming, there was a post and it asked this simple question. Let me bring it up. Because I got some flack for it because, apparently my taste in video games is a lot different. You were locked in the house for 2 years without internet. You can choose 3 games to play. Which ones will you choose? Now, here's the thing. You're locked in the house for 2 years. 2 years. I assume it's no one around. You're by yourself, which can only sound like a dream come true. And you only have 3 games to play. See, the games I really enjoy, I don't need internet for the most part. I had to think strategically about this. Like, what would I feasibly play for 3 years and not get bored of? I'll let you go first, and then I'll say mine. Yeah,
it just sucks because I'm like, can it be 3 game series or just 3 games?
Just 3 games.
I'm like,
and that's why I was like, if I could pick a developer, that would open the doors way open. But the issue being is it's just 3 games. And as much as I like the Fable series, wouldn't work for me because I can beat the first one in like a day.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, can it be the series? Because if it's like all 3 of them, then cool. Like that's 1. The 3 is 1. No. Gosh.
And for those of you that are listening, put the games that you would choose for 2 years in the comments for me.
Right.
Let me know that you got it this far in the video.
Right. If you got this far.
If you're one of the
2
17
to
people
3
that have been
games.
watching my videos,
Right.
let me know.
Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
This is hard.
So you got one. Final Fantasy
Stardew
VII.
Valley.
Okay.
Seeing like all the games that I like think of, I'm like, oh no, you need online for that.
Billy was like Grounded, Days Gone, and RDR. Or that's Red Dead Redemption, right?
Yeah.
Is that 1 or 2? I'm assuming that's a 2 because the @ sign is 2 on the keyboard. So, okay. Red Dead Redemption 2. That's a good one. Didn't even think about that.
But you can't. Oh yeah, you can. Duh. Hogwarts, Final Fantasy
Hogwarts.
VII, Stardew Valley, and Hogwarts.
Oh, those are some good choices. Solid choices. Only one of those I could think about replayability about. Because here's the thing. When I was thinking strategically about mine, I was thinking about replayability, how many times I would go back to it and replay it. And Civilization was a big contender. However, I don't play it enough. It's one of those games I play when I'm in the mood. It's a strategy game. Like I have to be focused or kind of mentally focused to do what I want to do.
But if you're by yourself,
here's the thing. I prefer to play a game like that with something on in the background. If I'm in the house and it's only my console, no internet, considering I stream everything now to watch,
right?
I don't have media. It's just the video game. So I had to think, what could I feasibly replay over and over again and not get tired? And I picked 3 games that have completely different settings that allows me to role play theoretically a digital life. Because here's the thing, I'm not working, I'm in the house for 2 years. The least I can do is pretend that I'm living a full life, right? So here is 3 games I chose in order. Starfield, Skyrim, and Fallout 4.
Okay, I'm with it on Skyrim, but you lost me at Fallout.
Here's the reason why.
It's just
in
not
Starfield,
one of my games.
I get it. It's an acquired taste. But however, they're all 3 different settings. I have a future setting, I have a post-apocalyptic setting, I have a fantasy setting. I hit all 3 of my major like niche interests when it comes to games. In Starfield, I'm already living a life. I can role play a bounty hunter. I can role play an assassin. I can role play an explorer. Like I can role play a life in that universe.
Yeah.
Same thing in Skyrim. Do I want to play as a mage build this time? Do I want to go as a stealth archer? Do I want to join the Thieves Guild? Do I just want to ignore the main quest line? Do I want to do the quest line? In Fallout, I like Fallout for the sole purpose, or especially number 4, is because the Creation Club has a Slocum Joe's, and I can go to each outpost and build my own Slocum Joe's as like it's in universe Dunkin' Donuts and run an empire. So the reason why I chose all 3 of those games is because I have 3 different settings in which I can role play a digital life to fulfill that need to do something every day.
Right. On top of doing something different and not so monotonous.
And considering that every time like I decide, oh, I'm going to go back and replay one of these games, it consumes my fucking life. It does.
See, that's my thing. Like with Stardew, is it's one of those games that I have to start at like 10 o'clock in the morning. And then it's to that point like, hey, dinner's ready. And I'm like, oh yeah, huh. I haven't eaten since breakfast.
The other
'Cause
day,
I
my
just get
mother-in-law
sucked in.
my mother-in-law took both the kids. My wife went to work. I sat here and played Starfield for 5 hours straight.
And
Lost
it's
track
just
of
so
time.
easy to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I made sure I did
Like,
all
oh,
my
yeah.
chores first thing in the morning. Like, I'm taking out
Yep.
the trash. I'm doing everything. So by the time I went and dropped the kids off at my in-laws and I came home, I was set. I was like, everything I had to do for the day is done.
Yeah. Oh goodness, sorry. Ugh. See, for me,
But
it's like Hogwarts is.
and don't get me wrong, for
Love the
those
Wizarding World.
that are like, why wouldn't you pick Civilization? I can't sit here and just focus on the game, especially late game for a lot of Civ games. You're waiting 2 or 3 minutes a turn. I'd lose my damn mind.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, Starfield, Skyrim, and Fallout 4. 3 games I would choose. My uncle, I asked him the same question, and he said Starfield. We're both very fond of Starfield. He chose Cyberpunk, and
That's pretty
he
solid. That doesn't surprise me.
he's a big baseball fan, so he chose MLB, which I get. Cyberpunk, it wasn't even a thought, and I've played Cyberpunk. I've beaten it the few times that I needed to. However, it does not offer the same freedom as some of like these other games as far as how
Yeah.
you play. Like it offers different ways of playing, but as far as like there's nothing to keep you engaged. At least in like Skyrim, Starfield, and Fallout, you have
There's
randomly
different.
generated
Yeah.
quests. Like you can theoretically play the same character for 2 years straight alone and have random jobs that you're doing the entire time. Like right now, I'm role playing as a Freestar Ranger, so basically a Texas Ranger in space. And I take jobs off of the Ranger board, and I hunt the guy down, I bring him in, and then I pick another one. And then at the end of the day, I go home, I sleep, I drink coffee when I wake up, and go back to work. Like I'm role playing a life. And that's why I chose what I chose. Is I figured I needed something I could pick that would allow me to do that.
I saw a thing the other day that was saying how Stardew Valley is just a girl living out her cottagecore dreams. And I was like,
Not
solid.
wrong.
Yep. Not wrong at all. Like it was
That's kind of
homestead cottagecore is what it was. I was
that's
like,
kind of
yeah.
why I'm excited for Tales of the Shire. It's it's the Lord of the Rings one where you live in Hobbiton.
Oh my god, I forgot about that
Where it's like
one.
a Stardew Valley Hobbiton thing. And I'm interested in playing that just because I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. And
See, that
like
sounds like
I wish I could play as a
fun.
dwarf, but I already have Mines of Moria. So
It's on the Switch.
why would you buy
Well,
it
it
on the
will be on
Switch?
the
That sounds awful.
Yeah, but at the same time, I could buy it on the Switch.
Yeah, and
If I
then you're gonna
don't
want to play it
have,
on something real later on.
I know,
You're getting a new Xbox soon. Chill.
I know. Hopefully, I'll have the new Xbox by the time that comes out. See, I'm gonna have to budget a lot of games on top of budgeting for the Xbox itself.
Mm-hmm. Now that's why, like, I definitely like. I love my Steam Deck because I can play certain things that I wouldn't otherwise because they don't exist on like the Xbox yet. But that's because hopefully soon, um, they have with the next gen console, you know, the possibility of being able to play Steam
Yeah,
on it is so interesting to me, and I would love it to be as rewarding as it sounds.
right.
Because here's the thing, I love Skull and Bones, as we all know. I've definitely brought it up a few times. I grind all the extra shit I need to do for the game when I'm upstairs in front of the TV playing it on my Steam Deck. Like, there is a use case scenario where the Steam Deck just helps me progress somewhere else in the house on something I'm doing, or revisit my backlog. For instance, I am playing Skyrim on my Steam Deck, and it is so fucking pretty. So pretty.
It do be a really pretty game.
Well, I'm sitting here playing Oblivion on my Xbox, and I was like, I really want to keep playing this, and then I have to go to work, and I didn't have Oblivion on Steam at the time. I had Oblivion, but I had the original version.
Right. See, that's
And so
seeing other people streaming that one too.
I ended up
so
buying Oblivion
pretty.
for my Steam Deck, but it doesn't run nearly as well as it should. So I'm going to play Skyrim, and it is running super smooth. I'm getting a complete solid 60 frames a second, which I don't care. I lock everything at 45 anyways. But it is just so gorgeous on the OLED. Like, I can't believe it.
Right. Yeah. I'm really excited to get the new Xbox just for the sake of like the look of these games.
Yeah, because
It's
I
not the
forgot that
same.
the upgrade for Skyrim is an X and S thing, right? They did
I think
remaster
so.
it once for
They
last
did.
gens, but then they released like an upgrade for the Series X and S.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
there's like a little pop-up thing that
I guess
happened at the
fans are
very
now calling for a Skyrim remaster in the same vein as Oblivion. Like, they want an Oblivion with the same gorgeous upscaling that Oblivion had.
When was the remaster done? Like, hold on.
I mean, which time did they not
redone?
remaster or redo Skyrim? And it's not really redoing it. It's just like upping the res a bit and not really doing anything. It's still the same old Skyrim, just looks better. That's it. A remaster would be going in and fixing all the systems and everything that made leveling up good or bad, and etc. Because the Virtuous, the team that did Oblivion remake, actually worked under the hood for a lot of like the skill systems and everything, and changed a few things to make the experience a lot better. But that's what people want now for Skyrim, and to tell you the
I'm
honest
seeing
truth,
that now on the Reddit is like, we need a Skyrim remaster in Unreal 5.2. We need it like a hole in the knee.
Yeah, I would buy the Skyrim remaster again in a heartbeat. It's one of my top 10 games. It has to be, as far as like replayability and just enjoyment factor.
Gosh, this is like within the last like most recent articles within the last 24 hours, 2 days.
Yep.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. I mean, people have been asking for an Oblivion remake for a while. There's a lot of people still asking for like a Morrowind remake or a remaster, and that game is like so far back. Like, I played Morrowind on the original Xbox. Like,
You played what? I'm sorry.
Morrowind.
Oh, okay.
It goes Arena, Daggerfall, Morrowind, Oblivion. Oblivion's 4, and then Skyrim, which is 5. And considering that Bethesda itself is working on the Elder Scrolls 6, I would think of no better way for Virtuous to keep busy by knocking out another remaster. Let me look. Let me see.
I'm trying to think of. Okay, so how old was Oblivion again? Like 20 years old?
Oblivion's 20 years old, yeah.
Okay.
It came out in 2006.
Okay. And then Skyrim came out in 2011.
Yeah.
Almost 2012. So it's like,
yeah.
We're just hitting over the 10-year mark.
Now here's the thing, like Virtuous has done quite a bit as well. Like they've been working since 2006, so they're not like a newer company. They did Street Riders for the PSP, the Hannah Montana game, Indiana Jones, Wolverine, Asphalt, Beowulf, Dora the Explorer, SpongeBob SquarePants, the Clam Pre. Like they have a lot of games under their belt, and that was just in like 2007. MLB 2K11 they had on the PSP and the Nintendo DS. LA Noir, they worked on LA Noir, which is crazy. Horizon Zero Dawn for the PS4 and PC. Destroy All Humans for the Switch, they brought that back as a remaster. BioShock the Collection, they remastered that in 2020. They helped with Cyberpunk 2077, so they like know their shit, you know.
Right.
The Spacer's Choice Edition, which was another kind of like remaster, they redid it. So they have a lot of games under their belt, so they know what they're doing. So for them, it's not too crazy for them to be like, yeah, we'll do Skyrim. Hold your horses. You know, I would love to see Skyrim.
When's the 6th one supposed to be coming out, though?
There's no set date on it because they just said that they're working on it. And when they were done with Starfield, it was like in pre-production, so which means they probably are still figuring out storylines and stuff. I mean, we still are expecting more DLC for Starfield, but nothing has come of that yet. So we got time.
But what would be easier to do is like put more time and effort into Elder Scrolls 6 or remastering the game.
That's a completely different team. Virtuous did the Oblivion remake. Bethesda had no real hand in it. They may have had like a few people help out with it, but they weren't working on the Oblivion remaster. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So Bethesda's working on the Elder Scrolls 6. Virtuous did the Oblivion remake. They just took the old game and did whatever they did to it.
Okay. Now I'm on the same page. Yeah. Now I'm here.
So it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's just whether or not that would be something that Bethesda would greenlight. In fact, there's another community that wants a Fallout 3 to have the same remastered style as the Oblivion remastered. So as far as Bethesda games go, they have a lot of people clamoring for Bethesda games.
When did Fallout 3 come out?
I think 2005, 2006. Or it was on the 3. Yeah, I think so. I think that's
2008.
Close enough.
Jeez. So
yeah, it's coming up on 20 years soon too. That'd be a nice like day one edition for the new Xbox.
Yeah. See, I just feel like a Skyrim remastered would be too soon. Granted, it like people are asking for it, but there's also
here's the thing: they had
20-year-old games.
They haven't had full remasters of Skyrim.
Right. It's just kind of more like
upgrades to the existing game, not real remasters.
Almost like Overwatch turning into Overwatch 2.
Sort of. But that's like, as far as like a full remaster, it's still over 10 years old. Like, it came out, 2011, right? Mm-hmm. That's still 14, almost 15 years. Like, remember what we were talking about? It wasn't within the last 3 years.
Yeah.
As far as games go,
that's kind of where my brain's going, is like, okay, like it's like there, but at the same time,
I think 10 years would be a soft minimum for remasters and remakes of games. Yeah. So like I think 10 years should be the soft minimum for how old a game has to be to get remastered or remade.
Well, and then it's like there's the
Especially
flip side of
since
it that, like with Fallout 3, like that's been out for 20 years almost. So 2008, like seems like a double-edged sword.
But like look,
Like,
considering that Oblivion sold more than 4 million copies.
Gosh, I know.
Like there is a huge demographic of players that have and haven't played Oblivion that really want some of these games to be modernized in the eyes of the public to be replayable. There's a reason why a lot of people have been playing older games, and it's because they want that nostalgia hit. They want that experience.
Yeah.
They want the experiences that made gaming the way it is. And
It's
the
like,
way
I
the
wanna
direction of
fall
the
in
industry
love
is
with a
going
game.
is shit. Like I can count on one hand how many games I've played in the last 5 years that I actively got lost playing. You know what I mean? Like I hyper focused on playing nothing but that. And there I can also I don't have enough hands to count how many games I've tried, attempted, and put down because I got bored.
Oh yeah. No, that's me in Fallout, and what's the other one? Far Cry.
I
Between
love
those
Far
2,
Cry
like,
games.
I struggle with them, but I realized even playing Generation 0, I don't like playing those games by myself.
See, I like those kind of games, but I also want that game to be that game. Like I want a Far Cry game to be that game. I don't want Avatar to be a Far Cry game with an Avatar skin. Like I don't want to.
Yeah.
I want to play the game that it's supposed to be. Yeah, it's just industry sucks. I'd rather play. I've been playing Oblivion, and I didn't get into it before because I was trying to play the original, and I was like, I can't get into this. Oh, it says you're out of storage here on recordings.
I think it's me.
Yeah. Anyways, so I tried playing Oblivion the first time on my Steam Deck, and I was like, I can't play this. It doesn't have native controller support. I had to go in and fuck around with the settings, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I got out of the cave, and I was like, I'm done. I put it down, never went back to it. And I started playing it on my Xbox. It looks fantastic. It looks beautiful, and I got out of there, out of the dungeon the first time, and I started playing it because considering I play it on the hardest difficulty, it felt extremely off balance for skill, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to play this right now. And after going back to Skyrim and doing like a stealth archer build, I was like, huh, this is the way I should play Oblivion. So now I'm actually playing Oblivion. I restarted the character. I have 100. I leveled up sneak and lock picking to 100 before I left the cave, before I left the dungeon in the beginning. Which are very easy to do.
The goblin trick.
It wasn't just the goblin. Like the first area with the zombie, I just walked
What's up, baby?
into a wall for like a few hours. I had my controller like this because I did it on my Steam Deck. My Steam Deck was a little easier. I had a rubber band at work, and I just pushed up on the controller. Well, on this, I had to wedge this underneath my stick here to push it forward, and I left it like that while I played a video game on my computer and leveled up sneak that way, where it was just pushing up on the controller.
So the reason I asked, I saw a video that was like, oh, how to level up your sneak. It's like there's like a goblin that like ends up walking around a corner and then just staying there. And it was walking up against that like wall.
The wall there. Yeah, same concept. I was just walking up behind the zombie and 2 rats. Like
and 2
rats. I just 2 rats. And then I just waited there. And the lock picking is even easier because once you get to a lock, and you have to like I found the one that had like 3 pins in it, and you solve one of them, and then you just spam the A button. I sat there for like 15-20 minutes just spamming the A button, and it just kept leveling my lock experience, my security experience, and until I got to 100.
What?
Yeah. It's so I have a level 100 sneak and a level 100 lock before I even left the dungeon in the beginning. Uriel Septum was waiting there for like 5 or 6 days for me to come out of there before he could die. Like,
Oh, Jesus.
I was like,
oh my gosh, there was.
And I leveled up 17 times. Once I finally got to sleep, I leveled up 17 levels. 17 levels. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It was great.
There was this video that I saw, and I ended up sending it to Micah because when he was streaming, he was like at the very beginning when you're like killing off all these assassins for who is it, the king? And then you have to walk back to him, and then it's like, oh, thank you. I think Micah was there for a solid like 10 minutes. Just killing him. And then finally he's like, oh, and he like just walked back far enough. But I saw a video where that's what happened to someone else. I was like, look, Micah, you're not alone. I was like, oh, poor babies.
I have 5 hours of game time in on this save, and I've only just left the dungeon. Like, it was just crazy. The longest to take was the sneaking, because obviously you have to like actively try it, and every time like I would forget to like redo the mouse or wake up my controller, it would like come up with the reconnect your controller bullshit, and then I'd be like, oh, damn it, now I have to redo it and not make sure that I walk off into the corner. At least with the Steam Deck, like it just stayed on, and I had the mount, or I had the rubber band pull the mouse or the joystick forward, and I just kept it at that for 4 hours while I was at work.
Bonkers to me that you're like, what, just do this.
It worked, and I did it.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
Yep, I was outside moving trains while my guy inside was leveling up his sneak. It just helps.
I wonder if you could have sat there and leveled up your archery, though.
No, because you have to actually hit something to like it to count.
But right, like if you're sitting there just killing off the assassins, just constantly, you could have leveled up that way, instead of stepping back.
I didn't even think about that.
You're welcome.
It's too late to try it now.
You're welcome.
I'm not starting. I'm not doing the whole process over again. Level 100 sneak and a level 100 security is fine by me. Septum's dead. We're just gonna move on.
Where was I? What, like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Or when did you do this?
Yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I did it yesterday. I think yesterday was, I can't remember. I think yesterday was the day I actually had like time to do it. I was like home all day.
Playtime, not
rubber
banding and joystick.
Rubber banding was at work Saturday night, and I had like I got to like level 97 or something ridiculous like that.
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, well, now I got to go home and finish this. So I did that. Yeah. I had a great time.
Wait. It transfers?
No. I have 2 different games.
So you're doing this twice.
Yeah, but I didn't get the lock picking on my Steam Deck version, so now whenever I get to a lock where I can do that, I'm just going to sit there and spam the A button. So
fair. Okay, but you're still doing this for both games.
Yes.
Or for both devices. Oh my gosh.
See, I have this issue where if I get tismally addictive to something, addicted with the
hyperfixation.
Hyperfixation, that's what it is. When I get hyperfixated on a game, I have to play it absolutely everywhere, which is why I have multiple copies of games. I have a shit ton of copies of games. And that's why I'm so excited for this stupid Xbox handheld, is because I can buy one copy and play it anywhere.
Yeah.
And that extra money that would go to another copy would go towards Legos.
Yeah. Fair. So wait, if you get just the handheld,
Mm-hmm.
but then you get the new Xbox,
Mm-hmm.
is that going to be transferable?
Yes, because you'll be playing an Xbox save.
Mm.
Any Xbox has this wonderful thing called cloud saves.
Yes, I know.
I
Okay.
can I can play State of Decay on my Xbox, play it through Game Pass on my computer, and still play the same save.
Right. Okay. Now my stupidest question. Now my question is stupid. That's where I'm at
It's not
today.
stupid. You're just blonde.
My brain just didn't compute. Yes. Okay. Now I'm on board. Same page again. We're back.
but that's why I'm excited for like the handheld, because all these games I
Because
currently
then it's going to
play on
be.
in multiple like different variations. Like I was telling my uncle that they just released a patch for Starfield that allows you to go to a setting lower than low for quality. And that is probably in an effort to allow it to run on devices like the Steam Deck. However, as I reinstalled it, got the beta running and the experimental, now I have to download all the mods again, get it running that way. And as I went into creations to download the mods, because I have a mod list of like 170 mods.
Yeah, I know.
As I went to go download like the first 2 or 3 mods, I was like, you know what? I can't. I'm not doing this again. I'm not fucking
We're
around with the
done.
settings. I'm not downloading this again. I am done. So the next time I play Starfield on a handheld, it will hopefully run better on an Xbox. Hopefully, handheld. My theory. And the save would cross, because I play Starfield, the Steam version of Starfield, where the saves don't correlate because they're on different platforms.
And
Starfield is
Steam's
on
going
Steam
on the
versus
handheld
Starfield
too,
on
isn't it?
Xbox. Huh?
Steam's going on the handheld too.
Steam is on the Steam Deck. It's already on a handheld.
I mean, with like
Xbox is
Xbox and
creating.
Steam.
No, not that I know of.
Okay. Okay.
It's the next console that is rumored to have
It's
Steam and
just the next
Xbox on
console.
the same. That's the rumor. We don't know yet. If it comes out on the next handheld, that'd be great too. But I doubt it. Rumor is
Yeah.
also that this Xbox is just a stepping stone, or no, this handheld is just a stepping stone to their official handheld that will coincide with the release of the next gen console. I'm sure they're releasing this to see if the market is a viable option.
Hey.
Because here's the thing. My wife was like, why hasn't Xbox done a handheld before? And I was like, because they were already trying to compete with some of the biggest contenders in the market in the first place. They were trying to compete with, if that was the case, Nintendo and Sony at the time. And Nintendo was dominating the handheld market.
I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to repeat that last sentence.
Nope, not doing it.
Oh my god. I was typing. I lost my brain cell.
No. My wife asked me why like Xbox hasn't joined the handheld market in the first place, and I was like, because they would be competing with Nintendo, who dominated the market, and Sony, who was already in the market. It would have
Okay,
been
that's
no
what I
good for
missed.
Xbox to have gone into the handheld market when they could have.
Everything was
Now is a great time because handheld PCs are such a huge thing, and I'm sure they're seeing the data where a lot of people are playing Xbox games on handhelds, and they're like, okay, maybe we should get into this. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. That's my hope for the next Xbox handheld is that it runs Starfield. That's it. That's all I want.
That's all you want.
That's all I
Screw
want. That's all.
everything else.
That's all I hope for. Like, I mean, the other thing is like it could be something you could physically or feasibly get into, considering that many people are speculating that it's going to be a budget option, kind of similar to the way the Series S was at first. Because the Series S, with its small form factor, kind of created the gateway into a small form factor for Xbox, so handheld feasibly. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's it. All I want it to do is play Xbox games.
Yeah, that's why I'm just so torn on it, is because like getting the new Xbox or getting a new Xbox, like getting the Series X, or just waiting for the newer console. But I think I'm gonna stick with my plan.
I know some people have speculated that the new Xbox was coming, like the new console was coming out in 26, but Xbox has also said the 2027. So, like, do you have 1 year to wait or do you have 2 years to wait? Is that a short enough time for you to want to wait?
Yeah, but it's like,
because at that point you'll be 2 generations behind.
Yeah, and then, but that's why I think I'm just gonna stick with my original plan as much as like, yeah, even because when's the handheld supposed to come out?
Sometime at the end of this year. People are speculating the holiday. So Christmas.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to do that. That would be playing it smart.
Not necessarily, because there's no real concrete evidence that it will be releasing in the first place.
True.
You see what I'm saying? Like, at least with an Xbox, you know it's there. It does exist. With the handheld, like, it's speculated and leaked that it does exist, but there's no evidence that it will release.
Yeah. Because my whole thought is keeping my Xbox One on. If your current console is still working, there's no huge rush. I'm a whole generation behind. I'm still on an Xbox One. So
yeah,
like I can't play anything.
That's
new.
What we're talking about. Like, she can't play anything new and is waiting something that she can mentally do if she wants to play all these new games.
So it's like I'll keep this Xbox One that I got from my stepdad because it's like the newer, like it's the One X.
Yeah.
Keep that.
And that's
put
the thing.
That one in the living room, and then get me the new console. And then
for people, I feel that people that still have like an Xbox One or are playing on the Xbox 360 either really had no like intention of upgrading, or they're satisfied with the library of games that they have at their disposal. Like, granted, like the Xbox One, you still have all the backwards compatible games. You still have the 360 and some of the Xbox games that you can play. However,
I like having that option, but like where I'm at, it's like I want to play Marvel Rivals with my man.
That's my point. Like, do you want to play the new things coming out? And I don't like having the new games locked to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's so hard being constricted because time and time again I go look through Game Pass games and I'm like, oh, do I want to try and expand my horizons? And I'm like, no, that just doesn't seem like a game I want to play. And then there's times where I do try to give it a chance and I'm like, okay, like
See, Feral Panda, that's the other thing. Like, yeah, you can play Game Pass on your PC, but even PC Game Pass is limited on what games you can and can't play. Like, I remember where Game Pass PC only had like the strategy games and shit on it for a while there.
And
it wasn't any of the newer games.
And those are a lot of the games still that I could play, but it's one of those, like But yeah, I only use it for streaming shows. That's what would happen with my Xbox One. Xbox One is going to go in the living room because I want my Netflix. I got, movies.
Mm-hmm.
The child can play Stardew.
Xbox Game Pass had Death Stranding on it for a while, and that was for I think a year or two before it even released on the console. Like there was a time where Game Pass on PC had things that the console version didn't, but for the majority of the time, console has always had the most use case scenario for Game Pass. And to be locked out of being able to play these games that are coming out for the next gen consoles, like it doesn't work. And that's why Nintendo released the Series S in the first place, was to be able to offer a lower barrier of entry for all those people to upgrade without having to fork over $500,000 to do so.
Yeah, that's what last year my manager was getting her grandson and the Xbox. She's like, well, there's a Series S and a Series X. Like my manager's in her 50s. She's like, what should I guess? S. I'm like, he doesn't need an X. Yeah. I was like, he's
because here's the thing.
So
the X was designed for the enthusiasts, the people that want the best out of their gaming, the guys that pay the extra money to get 4K TVs to enjoy gaming at a fidelity that they admire, they want the quality of. The S was
just
for
waiting till I move
the casuals, the people that just play to play, the guy that buys Madden every year and that's it. Like the S was created
10-year-old that wants to stay up to date.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was a good it's great marketing.
Yeah. Like they did really well on that.
Mm-hmm. Especially for those games that are on Game Pass. Like I think Madden was on Game Pass for a while. MLB, when it came to when it came from PlayStation to Xbox, like it was originally day one on Game Pass. The first and the second one that they had on Xbox. Like there's a reason to have a lower end console for those people that only play those type of games. But as far as like myself, like I upgraded to the 2 terabyte Galaxy edition when they released and announced it, which had minor under the hood adjustments. Except like it had
2 terabytes.
I have 3 terabytes for my Xbox, and that's just for current gen games. I have another 10 terabyte hard drive for my last gen games. I take that back. It's 12. It's 12 terabytes. The WD Black.
But it's like it's the investment part of it, and that's why like I'm just waiting till I move.
Mm-hmm. And I could justify it because gaming is my main hobby. I know this looks serious, but this is the mistress. This is the mistress. But we're getting all these viewers, and it's about time to end the show. Look at this.
I know.
But once again, ladies and gentlemen, I know at the beginning of the show I did say this. This is going to be the last podcast episode until the week after next. I'm going to be out of town next week. We'll pick back up on what is it? On the 22nd. So we'll have another episode on the 22nd. We changed days from Tuesday to Thursday because of my schedule. It's changed. I work overnights now. My days off are Wednesday, Thursday.
Yep.
And yeah, Feral Panda, you're right. Games just keep getting bigger and bigger with these newer consoles, and it sucks.
It does, because I'm so far behind.
Mm-hmm. So
that's right. Yeah, we'll be back the 22nd. Holla.
Yep. So don't forget to like and subscribe. You can find me on YouTube at the GigaGamerDad. If you want to like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. For those of you that haven't, you can find me on Discord, Twitter, anywhere else you can find me. On Xbox, I am also the GigaGamerDad. And how about you, Panda? How can they find you?
Social media, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, DC the Trash Panda. I'm simple to find too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you coming out, and I hope you all have a good night. Ciao.